did you miss that place? I mean this place? Because I missed a lot. So what did you miss about this place? The view? Because I shot a lot of videos in this scenario, in this place. But why did I leave shooting here? That's because it's a rainy day, it's monsoon. And during monsoon, anytime it rains, here in India, in Kolkata where I am, it rains anytime. And you know, I cannot just be in the rain and shoot videos because... So I am here because I just finished shooting a few time lapses, and by this time you have already seen the time lapses, right? Is it dope? Because I have not seen yet. I will now go into my room, start editing, show you the entire process, and we will see how that comes. But do you know the interesting thing about this time lapses? I didn't use any type of intervalometer. Crazy, right? You want to know how? I just used a smartphone app to do this because I didn't have an intervalometer, and you know, buying this right now in this pandemic situation, the delivery is late and there are lots of trouble. So what I did, I just searched for a smartphone app to do the same thing, and I got this app and it works crazy. It have all the functions to like limit the duration, take as many frames as you want, and change the interval duration and everything. But before explaining the entire process, how I shot the pictures, shot the images in different intervals, and what was the interval, and how to combine those pictures into a time lapse, it's getting very much hot here. It's like the sun is directly almost above me and it just hits hard. So I will just quickly go down the stairs, sit in my chair and explain you everything about it. So let's go. A time lapse can be done in a number of ways. The most easiest being, you just record a video for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes or maybe 40 minutes, basically a long duration, and then you move into the editing process and then just speed up the video to about like 1500 or 2000 or maybe 3000%. So this is basically the most easiest process because it's easy, right? You only need that extra time, that time 30 or 40 minutes to just record that video. And this technique is really helpful when you don't have much time or you don't have other gears to achieve the same with another technique, which I'm going to tell you in a minute. The reason I do not use this technique very often, that's because you don't have much flexibility in the post, tweaking the colors and getting that high quality looking footage. So suppose while shooting, your sky is just overexposed, it's just blown out. Or maybe your shadows are very underexposed and it's on the very dark side. So recovering that in the post becomes very tough in case of a video. And you know this, right? Editing an image which is shot in RAW is very much easy because you can, bring back the overexposed part, you can recover the underexposed and everything because it's in RAW format. But in case of a video, it's very much tough recovering all the other things which are blown out or maybe underexposed, because when you try to overextend, your image just falls apart. So this is the reason why I avoid this technique as much as possible. Now the most used technique and the most professional technique is using images taken periodically. So in this technique, you click number of images in a regular interval, suppose 10 seconds. So in every 10 seconds, you click an image and then in post, you just combine those images to form a video. So the advantage of this technique is that you have the flexibility in editing because those are images, and as I said a minute ago that editing those images are very much easier than editing a video. You can recover all the overexposed and underexposed parts. You can tweak the colors up to whatever extent you want because the images are raw. So for this technique, you need an intervalometer. So what does an intervalometer do? It clicks the images from a DSLR in regular intervals. So you can just basically set the number of images you want and like for how much duration it should go on and what should be the interval basically between two images. So as I was talking about the smartphone app, It does everything. The name of the smartphone app is DSLR Remote Control and it's very good. So I don't know is it available for iOS because I'm not sure, but you may just find the same or maybe similar app like this, which can serve your purpose. But I'm not sure though. But if you are an Android user, then this app works very fine. So I will put the link of the app in the description below. So if you want to download and use it for your purpose like I did and create amazing time lapses, then you may download it from the description below. So this app has all the settings for like number of frames you want, for how much interval it should go on, and what should be the interval between two images. So to use smartphone as an intervalometer with your DSLR, you will need a USB cable and this adapter which will go basically in your smartphone. So this part goes in your smartphone, and this part where you connect this USB cable, so it connects like this, and then this part goes in your DSLR camera. So depending upon what type of connector you have in your smartphone, if it's micro USB, then you need a micro USB to USB like this I have, and if you have a type C, then you need a type C to USB. So we can just basically connect here. So this entire thing goes into your smartphone, and then the other part, this goes into your DSLR. This is how you connect your smartphone with your DSLR. But still, I will not recommend you to use your smartphone as an intervalometer every time, because your smartphone is used for many purposes. You may have phone calls, you may have messages during you are shooting a time lapse. So get an intervalometer for your DSLR camera, because it's made for taking those pictures in a regular interval. You don't need super high expensive intervalometer, you can get a cheap one. So after you have taken all the images and transferred those images into your PC, keep all the images in a separate folder sequentially, and then we will just move into Lightroom. We'll go to Import, then we will just go to Desktop and Timelapse 3 Draw. So with the all photos selected, just click Import. Now this may take a little time because there are lots of images and the Lightroom may take a little time depending upon your PC specs, what you have. So it may take a little time. So just do whatever you want, just drink a coffee or do anything you want. So after all the images are imported, we will go to the develop section. With the first image selected, you can see we have 240 images, so there are lots of images. So with the first image selected, now we will edit as we like. So I'm not going to show you the entire editing process because it will take a lot of time. So I will just quickly finish with the editing. So I have finished with the editing process. You can see the before and after. So it looks dope. So now we will just select Ctrl A or Command A to select all the images, and then we will just click on sync so that we can have the same effect on all of the images, and we don't need to just edit separately every image because that will be just then a head breaker. You just need to keep in mind that if you're shooting a very long time lapse, maybe you're shooting a holy grail time lapse, which is basically a day to night time lapse, then you need to edit accordingly because your lightings will change after a long time and you cannot have the same effect on all of the images. So maybe you select some of the images, paste that effect, and then again tweak a little bit for the next one and then again paste those. So you just need to edit accordingly. But in my case, I will just go by pasting the same effect on all of the images. So after it's done, you can see all of the images now have the same effect. So what we will do, we will again hit Ctrl A to select all of the images. We will now right click and then go to export. We will export all the 240 files in a separate folder and we will just click on export. So now we can see we have all the images in Timelapse 3 Lightroom folder. So it makes it easy. Afterwards you will get to know why. So now we will just go to Premiere Pro, create a new project, and then we will just go to File, Import, go to the place where my folder is. So with the name Timelapse 3 Lightroom. And now we will click the first image and keep note that image sequence is selected. So we will click on first image sequence selected, and then we will just click open. So now what happens is all the images are now imported in Premiere Pro as a sequence and not as individual images. So that's a very nice thing. So we will just drag here. And now we have a beautiful looking time lapse, but wait. The quality, the resolution of this time lapse is very high since it has the resolution of a image, and you know the image resolution is very high. So we now need a 4K or maybe a full HD time lapse. So maybe we will go with the 4K. So we will go to sequence settings. You can see what's the resolution. That will be just crazy. So you don't need that. So we will just edit it to 3840 2160. So we have now a 4K, and we will just scale it down. So now you can just export this as a normal video as you do in Premiere Pro, and you have a beautiful looking time lapse like this. So I hope you liked this video, and if you did, then don't forget to smash the like button. And if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, then what are you waiting for? Consider subscribing it. So that's it for today's video. See ya.